Hey, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for this campaign update with less than 24 hours before the ballots come out. We are pumped, we are energized, and we are going to make this happen. And so thanks, everybody, for joining us today. I'm very excited that we have folks joining us from this community to hear an update. I've been hearing a lot from y'all about how important this race is, and people have been asking for an update. And so I thought that I would just go live and take an opportunity to talk to each and every one of you directly so that you could hear directly from me about where we are in this race. So we're going to give people a little bit of time to trickle in. I want to make sure that anybody who wants to hear about how this historic campaign is coming along in the last home stretch of this election has an opportunity to hear it directly from me, because I'm grateful for each and every one of you. And I'm so excited about the state of this race and where we are. And so I'm going to give everybody just a couple more seconds to trickle in. I know that we have some folks who have tuned in, and thanks so much for taking a little bit of time out of your workday. And thanks for doing that for the last 3 months, because you know how important this decision is for everybody here in this race. So I'm just going to give everybody a couple of seconds to just keep coming on and joining in on this campaign update coming to you live. So thanks, everybody. And I think that I will go ahead and get started. I see that we have a good amount of people who are tuned in. And I want to just give an update again. For those of you that weren't on at the beginning of this, people have been calling and asking, how's it looking, Victor? Are you ready? Are we going to make this happen? And I want to give a message to everybody that this campaign is going strong and that we are well positioned going into tomorrow's vote of the State Central Committee. And let me tell you why I know that we are well positioned. It is because of the fact that we had this campaign have built one of the most formidable campaign operations, not just in a delegate convention, election, State Central Committee vote, but that folks have seen. And that is resonating with people. And I know and I trust that we're in a good position because my team has made over 9,000 calls in the last 3 months and sent over 35,000 text messages to you. And I know that you've been getting our calls and that you've been getting our voicemails when we can't get a hold of you, and you've been calling back. And I'm so grateful for each and every one of you for having the conversations about what this community deserves and what's looking forward. But this campaign and the operation that we built is unparalleled in this field. And it shows in the numbers that we are seeing in very real time. And it's going to show tomorrow when folks have a chance and an opportunity to cast their ballot. And so let me again say thank you so much. And I'm so grateful. And just yesterday, most of the candidates in this field submitted and released their donors so that we have a chance to see who's giving, but also how folks are doing. And despite never having run for office before, despite being the youngest candidate in this race, very proud to say that we raised more money, except for the one other candidate, the wealthiest candidate in this field. We were able to outraise every single other one of those candidates. And why did that happen? Because people are excited about what we are building here in this race, in this opportunity. People are excited about the message that we've been sharing with voters, the message that you have been sharing with voters. Thank you so much for putting that out there. And because of that, we have shown that we are able to raise a strong operation in every single metric: communications, organizing, fundraising. And you deserve that from a candidate, someone who can put that together. And I truly believe that this campaign is the strongest operation and in the best position to hit the ground running on Wednesday when we have a candidate to replace the historic legacy of Congresswoman Deb Haaland and to fill that role that she has been playing for so many of us. So thank you to each and every one of us for making us one of the leaders in the field of candidates when it comes to fundraising, for making us one of the leaders and the leader, I would say, actually, in the field when it comes to organizing and grassroots outreach. Because of you, we are well positioned to go into this vote tomorrow and to deliver a success. And I am so grateful for all of you. But I also want to address something that I've been hearing a lot that's been being said on the forums. I want to say that any one of the colleagues in this race, I am confident, has what it takes to beat Mark Moores and deliver a victory for this congressional district and for the Democratic Party. And that's very important because, it's not this district is who our nation looks to make bold decisions. And we shouldn't, accept the fear that some have been saying about what the potential is of risking to lose this race. We shouldn't buy in to that rhetoric. And let me tell you why. Not only does this district have we built a strong infrastructure amongst all of the candidates, amongst the Democratic Party to be successful and to triumph, not only is this community a district where we are strong with our democratic values, that those values represent this community, but we've also are in a district where the advantage is on the side of the Democrats. And, we also have a candidate that, let's be very clear, is someone who would align with the Tea Party coalition, with be a proud member of the Freedom Congress, someone who in the legislature has been an obstructionist, has stood up against some of the boldest progress that we've been able to make as a state. And so this is a district that the whole country looks to for these bold decisions, to take a stand and to make history. That's what we did. I mean, why do you think that it took so long to confirm Congresswoman Deb Haaland? It's not because we in 2018 made a decision to elect a traditional candidate, a business as usual candidate, a safe candidate. No, in 2018, this community made the decision that we were going to make history, that we were going to elect somebody who wasn't a traditional candidate, but someone we knew was going to be firm on their values and knew that we trusted could get the job done. That is very important for us to realize, because right now, the voters of this district, by and large, they don't get to go in tomorrow to the polls. They don't get to drive. We don't get to drive our family. We don't get to say, get all your friends and family in the car, call everybody that you know to vote, because this decision has been put into the hands of individuals that we are entrusting with a very sacred responsibility to determine who will be the next member of Congress for our community, who will best represent our values, who will best represent the decision of this district to continue to make history, to continue to be bold, to continue to elect someone who has the opportunity to be a change maker. And what does that mean? What does it mean to be a change maker? It's not enough for us to go in tomorrow and to elect somebody that's going to be a good vote and that's going to be a safe vote, because let me tell you something, every one of us in this race, I know, is going to be good on the issues and is going to vote the right way. But you want to know what the difference is? It's not enough to just put your name on a bill. It's not enough to just sign on to the bill as it's moving along the process. It's not enough to say that you're going to join in with someone to do this. You deserve somebody who knows what it takes to get the work done and that can navigate bills across the finish line, knows how to make change in what is oftentimes an opaque, a burdensome, a cumbersome process that many people don't understand. And I said a little earlier today in the webcast that, Mark Moores has been an obstructionist and has been standing in the way of some of the progress that we've been working to make and that we have made at the state level. And you want to know how I know that? Because I've been taking him head on and delivering results. Mark Moores stood against the Energy Transition Act in 2019, did not believe in the future for us to be able to reach some of the strongest climate goals in our country, in our ability to lead this country when it came to creating a renewable energy infrastructure. And how do I know that? Because I was one of the leaders in the coalition that made sure that that bill passed. I led from within the governor's office. I made sure that whatever obstacles and roadblocks were in our way, we were overcoming, because we knew that our communities could not wait when it comes to climate change. When in 2019, when we were looking at passing the minimum wage, making sure that our lowest wage earners would see an increase in their salaries, could make a living wage for their families, it was people like Mark Moores who stood in the way of that progress. But it was me who, at the time when it was solved, made everybody come back to the drawing board, come back to the decision-making table to get that done. And over the next 4 years, we're going to have seen a 60% increase in that minimum wage, and the first increase in the minimum wage in over a decade. It was people like Mark Moores who stood in the way when it came to making sure that we were passing key gun violence prevention initiatives, stood in the way in a Senate that did not want to budge when it came to universal background checks, when it came to gun violence prevention measures. And it was me who made sure that we could put the coalition together to get that bill passed in the Senate. You know, you have a real decision on your hands tomorrow to the members of the State Central Committee on who is going to be our next representative. And we can go business as usual. We can choose somebody who, you know, people feel has been in elected office before, who people feel like has been, you know, a traditional candidate. That, you know, maybe that's the way that we've always seen it, that it should be a traditional candidate that goes in line, or we can choose to once again make history. Once again, be bold. We have an opportunity in this district to elect the youngest member of Congress in our state, in our country. We have the opportunity in this district to elect the first LGBTQ member of Congress to represent the great state of New Mexico. And we need to be clear that we have an opportunity to elect someone who will be a change maker who can get that done. And we're looking good. And we are looking good as we go into the home stretch of this. And so when you get your ballots to the members of the State Central Committee that are watching, or those of you that know State Central Committee members, please make it very clear to them how important this responsibility, this solemn commitment that they've made. Because our community is looking to you to make a decision that will reflect this desire of this district to make history, to be bold, to elect a change maker, to elect someone who can get the job done. And we are well on our way to doing that. And so for those of you that are undecided, those of you that are on the fence, you know, I would love to continue to have a conversation, but I want you to think very hard about the responsibility that you have in front of you. It is not one that you should take lightly. But thank you to everybody. I'll end again by saying thank you to everybody who has poured their heart into this campaign, who has donated, who has made calls, who has made it clear that we have that responsibility and that we shouldn't take it lightly. Because, you know, opportunities like this to make change, to continue legacies like those that have put in place by Deb Haaland, they don't come often. And so you are in the driver's seat on this one. You are in the driver's seat of history to the members of this committee and to those of you that know committee members and that can do more. So thank you for everything that you've done. Thank you for your commitment to our party. I'm going to keep fighting tooth and nail to make sure that the strong position that we are in continues to be the strong position and that we strengthen it going into tomorrow. Thank you for helping me be a leader when it comes to the fundraising numbers. Thank you for helping me be one of the strongest campaigns in fundraising. Thank you for helping me be one of the strongest campaigns in organizing. Thank you for helping me be one of the strongest campaigns when it comes to the organization and the coalition that we've built of supporters of everybody from individuals like former Secretary of Health, Kathy Kunkel, former Secretary of the Department of Veterans Affairs, Judy Griego, various members of Congress that represent a broad coalition of support, people like Senate House Majority Leader Cheryl Stapleton Williams, people like each and every single one of you, activists like Joe Noriega, activists like Bunny Benton Cruz. Thank you so much for standing with us. We are going to be successful tomorrow, and it's because of your help and it's because of your recognition that this is a responsibility for us to continue to be bold, to make history, and to elect change makers. Thank you, all of you. I appreciate you taking the time out of your Monday morning, and I hope to be in touch with many of you very soon. And so thank you all. It means a lot to me. De todo corazón, gracias. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, guys.